Kazak Aruy, competition of beauties who have preserved their national values and traditions. Kazak Aruy, competition with an 8-year history. Kazak Aruy has expanded its borders and reached the international level. Kazak Aruy will go to 5 countries and bring to Kazakhstan 5 beauties who have not forgotten the traditions and rich history of their ancestors. Turkey, Mongolia, Russia, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan. In the diaries of Kazak Aruy, we will travel around 5 countries and bring to Kazakhstan fervent greetings, heartfelt wishes of our brothers who live outside the country of Kazakhstan.
Kazak Aruy in Istanbul. Diary, the 2nd day. Migration from Altai to Turkey. View of Kazakhs. Turkish Kazakhs and the developed private enterprise. Who will visit the native land with an important task? Turkey, Istanbul, Zeytinburnu. The film crew of the diaries Kazak Aruy is 5,000 kilometers far away from the homeland. But here we feel at home being among the Kazakhs. And today, here we will hold a celebration of circumcision, the Sundet Toy. Hello to Kazakhstan. Since the early morning, they have been preparing there. The meat is cooked and the guests are coming. Children are running and playing. White clothes were sewn especially for this occasion. Guests are gathering in 2 rooms. Girls and women with children sit separately. Aksakals and grandmothers are in another room. Guests are having a main dish. Aksakals will read the Quran and give a blessing.
Ya Rabbi bizleri her türlü fitnelerden, fesatlardan, hasretlerden, tehlikelerden, tehditlerden muhafaza eyle. Korktuklarımızdan emin, ümit ettiklerimizden nail eyle. Her müşkületlerimizi halvasan eyle. İşlerimizi maddi ve manevi ticaretinden tebur sırrına mazhar eyle ya Rabbi.
The elders told us the story of the migration of the Kazakhs who left the Altai. 80% of the locals are Kazakhs from Barkol. Barkol is located on this side of the Altai. We were 4 to 5 years old at that time. Our ancestors said that at that time there were a lot of cases of massacres and executions. They came and captured people alive, and those who were captured did not return. And our grandfathers were forced to flee, saving their families. In the 1930s, Altai Kazakhs fleeing oppression by Chinese authorities crossed the mountains of the Himalayas, Tibet lands, desert Taklamakan, and moved to India. It was a very difficult and dangerous journey. In different years, 20,000 Kazakh families fled from Altai, but only 1,800 people could reach the borders of Turkey. In 1952, the head of the Turkish government, Adnan Menderes, issued a decree authorizing Kazakhs to settle in the country. The Kazakhs found here not only a home, they were given the opportunity to work.
Kazakh women used to be skillful at handiwork in those days. They could do everything. We have now forgotten everything. I saw with my own eyes how my mother collected unnecessary woolen things and sewed mittens. And then she started sewing children's jackets. In general, they tried to earn for bread. They worked up a sweat. At that time, no Kazakh was begging with an outstretched hand, and no one stole. In total, they tried to make an honest living. They sewed dresses, clothes, and sold them at markets. And Turkish women learned from the Kazakh women for many things. That's how we settled in Turkey.
Our people had to face all kinds of difficulties, but their spirits weren't broken. Even they are far beyond the native land, they were longing for native land. Once we did not even believe that Kazakhstan would be independent. Thanks to God, now the country is independent. Let Kazakhstan prosper. We are all happy here for the achievements of Kazakhstan. Even if they have not been there, we say this is our Kazakhstan. Meanwhile, the Sundet toy is continuing. According to the customs of the Turkish Kazakhs, before the ritual, the boys are taken to the mosque. And in the mosque, the Quran will be read once again. All went to the mosque. The children have received the blessing and are ready to become real Muslims. Mothers and grandmothers take them home for holding the circumcision. Plastic factory. After the holiday, we wanted to get to know about the business of the Turkish Kazakhs and went to the Akjol plastic goods factory. The first thing we notice when we cross the threshold of the factory is the pictures hung on the walls. Kazakh ornaments, golden eagle attacking the fox. Unusual and very beautiful images show that the owner of the plant is a true Kazakh. The director of the enterprise, Eyüp Ata, told us the history of his plant. The factory was founded by our father. In 1970, about 20 Kazakh guys together opened a small plant, Turkestan Plastic, near Zeytinburnu. And 10 years later, the father himself opened the plant, Garantik Plastic. We mainly produce dastarhans. We export 80% of our goods. We send small lots to Kazakhstan. And most of our goods are purchased by Russia, Ukraine, Azerbaijan, France, and North Africa. Not only Eyüp Ata's relatives work and earn money, but also dozens of other families. Here, the whole production cycle takes place from the processing of raw materials to the production of ready-made dastarhans. We buy raw materials in Turkey and abroad. We look at prices where it is cheaper and we try to buy there. This is our raw material. In it, we add oil, fireproof chemistry, and roll out under high temperature. The rolled raw material goes to this machine. The machine makes the dastarhan thinner and wider. Patterns are drawn and the goods are ready for sale. There are 2 plastic plants in Istanbul that are owned by the Kazakhs. After seeing how one of them works, wishing prosperity to the business, we said goodbye and went further. Taylor House. Ersin, Öztürk, and Özür Timur. Young Kazakh guys who are doing the same business.
They have been friends for 6 years. They do everything together, and they spend their spare time together and work together. They are very close friends. They are like brothers.
Yersin's wife, Yerkejan, is a native of Turkestan. She came to Ankara to study and found love here.
In 2011, I studied at the Kazakh Turkish University. I did my internship in Ankara. I was met by local Kazakhs. That's how I met Yersin. Then I went back and he came for me to Turkestan. I introduced him to my parents. At first, relatives were against our relationship. They did not want to let me go to Turkey. They were afraid. But we kept on insisting. We said that we want to get married. In the end, our parents gave us their blessings. And now they are very happy that they have such a son-in-law as Yersin.
Before marriage, Ersin was engaged in repairing computers. He worked as a simple programmer. After having created a family, he decided that it is necessary to develop and earn more.
After the wedding, we realized that we cannot live on one salary and decided to do business. First, we opened a small atelier for sewing hats and vests. Gradually, small businesses began to bring good incomes. We expanded the tailor house, and now there are already 6 people working here. Someone cuts the materials, the others sew.
Vests and coats sewn in this small studio are exported to Kazakhstan, Russia, and China. However, young entrepreneurs do not intend to stop on this. Well, good luck. Dreams come true. Souvenirs. Along the narrow streets of Zeytinburnu, you can see many kinds of small businesses, such as this gift shop. Meet Jibek. She was born in Turkey and married a Turk.
Kasımızda Özken, Kazakların kasında Özken bala, Kazakça bileydi, Kazaklarmen turadı, sol bala kezi tanıskanmın.
He grew up with us, among the Kazakhs. He knows the Kazakh language. From childhood, I became friends with Kazakh boys. We got married 4 years ago, and the store was opened last year. There were no similar stores here, so this idea came to us. We sell household goods. Some of the goods are sold as wholesale.
Bursa ortak Optan Aluga bayrağı. Biz osunda turağımız.
Betul is responsible for unusual interior design and beauty in the store.
I'm organizing all this. My father is Kazakh, my mother is Turkish. Hassan brings all this and I do such things. So I can't explain further in Kazakh.
So family business brings a good income. During the filming, the store was not empty for a minute. A lot of buyers were coming.
Mağan Türklerden de keledi. Köbünese Uygurlar keledi.
Pharmacy. Turks visit me. A lot of Uyghurs. I understand their language too. As you can see, mostly Uzbeks and Uyghurs. I translate, I explain to them, and I help them. Aynur Akjol, pharmacist, the most popular pharmacist in Zeytinburnu. In her pharmacy, there is always a large number of buyers, so Aynur Hanim could not talk with us.
I've been working here since 1987. My husband was a teacher. He passed away 9 years ago. I have 2 adult sons. One is an engineer and second is architect. And you can always find me here. 6 days a week from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. I'm at work.
Aynur Hanim says that she enjoys working at the pharmacy. After all, she does not just give out medicine, but also helps customers.
Sometimes people can go to dozens of chemist shops, but they cannot find the right medicine and come to us. We look for it in our drugstore. If we do not, we also look for and find. People get well with our help, and they thank us. At such moments, I especially love my profession.
We wish Aynur Hanim success. Well, we continue to get to know the Kazakhs of Turkey. Hilal House. We are going to meet with the relatives of Hilal. This beauty will go to Almaty to defend the honor of her fellow countrymen. Hello, how are you? Are you all right?
Hi, Hilal, how are you?
Mehmet Zafir Mirza and Fatima Hanim are the parents of 5 children. Spouses are very worried that their children do not speak their native language.
We're very happy that our daughter will go to Kazakhstan. We'll see the Kazakhs there. We did not have such an opportunity. And now Hilal will see Kazakhstan with her own eyes, get to know better the life of local Kazakhs. She can really feel that she is Kazakh. Hilal, did you ever think that one day you will participate in such a big competition? That one day you will go on stage and perform in front of thousands of people? No, I did not even dream about it.
Take care of our daughter. Take care of her so that parents do not worry. We believe that she will learn the Kazakh language in Kazakhstan, and after she will come back, she will be speaking her native language fluently. It would be good.
Біздің шетелден келіп жатқан аруларымыздың жол жағын
We thank the company G Travel, which helps us with the transportation of our beauties to Kazakhstan. Thanks for the support.
We got the blessing of the parents. Now we need to get permission from school and to bring Hilal to Almaty.
Wait for me, Kazakhstan.
Pazil Aga, Pazil Topli invited us to dinner. The hostess, Anar Hanim, has prepared well and organized a rich dasturkhan. We tried a variety of Turkish sweets, enjoyed the meat of a young lamb. All the guests at this dasturkhan are members of the Fund of Kazakhs of Turkey. Now its head is Pazil Aga, and the foundation itself was once founded by the fathers of all these men.
Үлкендерimiz en жас келе жатыр деп сөйтті. Бізден кейінгі жастар не болады?
Our ancestors were very far-sighted. They were worried what will happen to the Kazakh youth in the future. And for the younger generation to remember that they are Kazakhs, not to forget their traditions and customs. They opened this fund. In 1986, the Aksakals held the meeting and a decision was made. So we were able to preserve our culture and customs. In 1986, December events took place in Kazakhstan. This probably also triggered the creation of the fund. Then the Aksakals relied this fund on us and gave us instruction. They said that the younger generation shouldn't forget their roots, and we are responsible for ensuring that. Pazil Aga shared his memories and secrets at a big dasturkhan, surrounded by friends and like-minded people.
Қазақстан егемендігін алмай тұрғанда Қазақстанға қасірет болатымыз.
When Kazakhstan was not yet an independent country, it was harder. We wanted to get at least news from our native land, to consult with Kazakhs. My heart was longing for Kazakhstan. In 1988, I had a shop of fur coats. And somehow a group of Kazakhs came into the store. You can see by the faces that they were Kazakhs. Among them were the Russians. I wanted to talk to one of them. I asked, "Are you Kazakh?" He was silent. I offered him tea, but he refused. "If you are a Kazakh, tell me about Kazakhstan. I'll give you a fur coat," I asked. Without saying a word, he left the store. I followed them, waited until the man was alone, and again approached him. I said, "Let's talk a little. I'm also Kazakh."
92 жылында мен құрылтайға барғанбыз. Қазақстан енді егемендігін алып.
In 1992, we went to the Kurultai. Then Kazakhstan has already gained independence. The same man saw me, found out, and came over. But I did not recognize him at first. He told me how he came to Turkey, and I promised to give him a fur coat. Then I asked why he did not want to talk to me and tell me about Kazakhstan at least a few words. It turned out that they were then forced to spy upon each other, and he was afraid to talk to me. Nur Ahmed Aga also spoke a few words about that. It is impossible to listen to the story about the migration of Kazakhs without tears. I remember how my mother told me when I was a child. They had to collect things and leave their native village. A few days early in the morning, all the dogs of the village gathered and began to howl loudly. Then the dogs returned back. They realized that people would not return home. And then, when they had already reestablished their relations with the local Kazakhs, the neighbors from the aul told how all the dogs had returned home. Despite the fact that we live not in our native land, our heart is given to Kazakhstan. We constantly follow the news in Kazakhstan. We are happy for the good news happening in Kazakhstan. And we always say that our country is Kazakhstan. Yes, we live among the Turks. We work with the Turks, but we always try to support the Kazakhs. We will never leave Kazakhs, even a stranger to us, in trouble. And not only us, the older generation too. Our children mostly speak Turkish. They understand the Kazakh language but do not speak freely. Even our kids, when we are on visit to someone, they play only with Kazakh children. The younger generation always tries to stay together. We will not forget this evening. It is impossible to see with your eyes. It is felt by the heart. And while we have such a feeling, the connection between Kazakhstan and the Kazakhs living outside it will never be cut off.